The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Chapter 5, Rohan. If I had a tenner, Rohan thought, for every time someone pointed a gun at the back of my head. Hand it over. The fool with the gun had no idea how much his voice betrayed him. Hand what over? Ronan turned, displaying his empty hands. Granted, they hadn't been empty the second before. The ticket. The man shook his gun in Rowan's face. Give it to me. There are only 2 wild cards left in the game. Point of fact, Rowan said lazily. There are none. You couldn't possibly know that. Rowan smiled. My mistake. He saw the exact instant his opponent realized Rohan didn't make mistakes. He followed his first wildcard ticket in Las Vegas and a second one here. He'd found his first wildcard ticket in Las Vegas and a second one here in Atlanta, at which point he'd moved on to the next phase of his plan. This rooftop provided an excellent vantage point from which to observe the courtyard below. You have the last 2 tickets? Both of them? The man lowered his gun and took a step forward. Mistakes. Both. Give me one. Please. I'm gratified to see your manners are improving, but as it happens, I prefer to choose my own competition. Rohan turned his back on the man and the gun and angled his gaze toward the courtyard below. She'll do. 4 stories down, a young woman with hair the color of chocolate and a gravity-defying bounce in her step was investigating a statue. It's possible, Rohan said, a pleasant hum in his voice, that the ticket I found up here is now residing down there. After a split second, the man with the gun bolted for the stairs, for the courtyard below, for the girl. Hurt her, and you'll regret it. Rohan didn't put any heat in the words. He didn't have to. Most people had enough sense to recognize the moment he'd flipped the switch. That's it, folks. A press release of Hawthorne heiress Avery Graham's had confirmed that, less than 48 hours in, all 7 slots in this year's Grandest Game have been claimed. Sitting on the edge of the bed, that was not his, wearing nothing but a lush Turkish cotton robe, Rohan twirled a knife slowly through his fingers. There were advantages to being a ghost. In the past year, he'd slipped in and out of luxury hotels like this one with ease. He'd spent the year obtaining funds, contacts, intelligence, not enough, in and of itself, to win him the mercy, but enough that nothing about his current plan had been left to chance. Last year's game was a free-for-all, the reporter continued on screen, as people from around the world raced through a series of elaborate clues that took them from Mozambique to Alaska to Dubai. This year's affairs looked to be more intimate, with the identities of the 7 lucky players currently a closely guarded secret. Not that closely guarded. Not against someone with Rohan's skill set. The location of the game is also being kept tightly under wraps. For some values of the word tightly, Rohan quipped. He turned off the television. Upon claiming his ticket, he'd been given a pickup location and a time. Now that it was drawing close, he made his way to the luxury suite's massive shower. He lost the robe, but kept the knife. As the glass walls of the shower steamed up around him, Rohan brought the tip of his blade to the glass. He'd always had a light hand, always known exactly how hard to push or soft to push. Lightly, he skimmed the knife through the steam, drawing 6 symbols in the moisture on the surface of the glass. A bishop, a rook, a knight, 2 pawns, and a queen. Already, Rohan had begun to classify his competition. Odette Morales, Brady Daniels, Knox Landry. He dragged the tip of his blade through the bishop, the rook, and the knight. That just left the 3 players nearest to Rohan's own age, if of not quite 20. Gigi Grayson he had observed from the rooftop. The other 2 he knew only on paper. A game such as this one would require the cultivation of certain assets. Those 3 were possibilities. Gigi Grayson, Savannah Grayson, Lyra Kane. Only time would tell which of the 3 would prove of the most use to Rohan, and if any of them had the versatility of the queen.